That's it. One thing that I actually don't understand is that Fesum, nobody's actually talking about. Yes, I get it. The Pirates won, and congrats to them. They deserve to win. Despite the fact that it was a close game, and that penalty incident is obviously debatable, right? But what's so ironic to me is that nobody's actually talking about how much this guy actually had a great game. For those that were paying close attention, this guy really had a great game. Pule Mmodi. This guy, when you look at Kaizer Chiefs in terms of an attacking perspective in the Soweto derby, the one player that really showed up in that game for Chiefs was Pule Mmodi. He was the player that whenever he had the ball at his feet, you could always sense that something is going to happen, that this guy is going to create something, and that's what he did. That every time he had the ball, you could always sense that something is coming. This guy is going to create something. Look at the first. Yes, that he did have that one-on-one chance, but you have to also give credit to Uchina, because Uchina did well. I mean, Uchina just stuck out his hand. Yes, you understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to round the goalkeeper. But I think one thing people need to give credit to you need to do is to give credit to the goalkeeper, the Orlando Pirates goalkeeper, Sipo China. I mean, he did so well to stick out a hand. You could see his anticipation, his level of awareness was at 100%. So there you have to give credit to the goalkeeper, right? And another thing is, in the first half, Chiefs were really not in the game like you would expect, right? Because the only player besides Pule Mmodi in that Chiefs attack that was really in the game, that was trying to make things happen, was Umatlo in that midfield of the park. He really showed up. He was impressive, and it's like, guys, it's only a matter of time that if this guy Umatlo really continues with this level of consistency that he's been displaying ever since he's returned from injury, he could get a call up to the Bafana squad. I mean, that's definite, right? Even this guy, Pule Mmodi, despite the fact that he's on the wrong side of 30 years old, I mean, I guess Pule Mmodi is 31, 32 years old, but this guy still has quality. This guy still has so much more to offer. And my question is, why doesn't he do this quite often? Why is he not as consistent as this? Why doesn't he drop these I'm not saying you have to drop this performance every single game, but why is he not showing up like this, like how he showed up in the derby? Because he was the only player in that Chiefs attack that really raised up his hand and showed up. Was he never came to the party. Chivaviro, honestly, I really don't expect much. So it's not like really, I didn't really expect much. But, Mmodi really showed up. He really raised his hand. And it was so impressive. I mean, you look at even in the second half, he had two chances. He was able to conjure up some two chances. Going on the left, cutting into the center, and actually unleashing a shot. Yes, that was a great save by China. I mean, China was just in the right position, great positioning. He did well to hold on to the ball. Even the second one, I mean, he was able to carve out some space for himself, make room for a shot. Yes, he missed the target, but you have to applaud the mindset, the intention, because you could see what he was trying to do. And that's what you want to see. You want to see that kind of positive play. You want to see those kind of players that can give you something in attack, that are not afraid to take on the defender. Because he actually gave Van Rooyen so much problems. He really gave Van Rooyen so much problems. Because I thought Van Rooyen was going to have a field day, on the right-hand side of defense for Orlando Pirates. But no, it was not the case, And yes, look what he even did before he got substituted, when Utlamile actually pulled his shirt. It just made you realize that this guy was so dangerous for Chiefs in that attack. I was kind of disappointed that they replaced him, but you could understand why, the player that they replaced him for, which was Serino. And I still think that Serino, they introduced him quite very late in the game. So there was no difference that he could have made, right? But I have to applaud this guy. He really showed up. He really raised his hand. And I only hope that he can be as consistent. He can drop these performances quite often and be very consistent, right? And I'm also very happy with the way how George Matlo actually played, despite the fact that there was that injury concern, which had to see him being replaced, early on in the second half by the debutant Thabo Cele, who I think also had a very decent game, in my opinion. But I hope to see. I want to see how they will play against Amazulu tomorrow night at the FNB Stadium. You know, that's an interesting fixture before the big one against Stellenbosch FC away from home. You know, I just need to continue seeing. I want to see how these guys are actually going to play because, you know, the performance against Pirates was very impressive. You know, despite the fact that they may have lost, but it was still impressive. You know, because I thought Chiefs were going to lose 3-0 or, you know, 3-1. But hey, you know, they managed, this game could have finished in a draw if it was not for like the lapse of concentration towards the end, towards the dying minutes of the game, you know. But yeah, that's just like how I like Faisal. This guy, give him his props, man.